Hi, I'm Derek Johnson. I'm a sociocultural anthropologist based at the University of Manitoba in Canada. I've been working on the fisheries of Gujarat, India since the mid-1990s, and here I am standing at the Port of Diu, which is a harbor on the southern tip of the central peninsula of Gujarat. Behind me you can see some typical vessels of this fishery. These are trawler vessels, which we'd normally classify as large-scale fisheries, as being part of a large-scale fishery. But in this case, there's a good argument that they may also be considered part of the small-scale fishery of this state, and that is these vessels are operated by fishing households. So they're really central to the household-based economy of this fishery. At the same time, they're also linked to a large-scale fisheries economy, one that provisions fish to different countries around Asia and in fact around the world. These boats, to my mind, illustrate one of the challenges of transdisciplinarity or deploying transdisciplinarity in fisheries governance, and that is they represent possibly competing, conflicting different actor groups in small-scale fisheries. So one of the major challenges in applying a transdisciplinary perspective to small-scale fisheries is how to bring together different groups that have very different kinds of knowledge and maybe positioned in terms of power quite differently in fisheries. And of course that challenge becomes even more difficult when we think about involving other actor groups in fisheries management or fisheries governance. So I'm thinking about us, of course, as academics who are involved in helping to provide the knowledge that is required to govern fisheries effectively, but also policymakers, NGOs, civil society groups. How do we bring together those actors in a transdisciplinary manner in a way that's effective to enhance fisheries governance? And what I want to say there is that transdisciplinarity is never going to result in a perfect synthesis of knowledge. Rather, transdisciplinarity will always face significant translation problems between those different groups. And transdisciplinarity needs to be very closely, very carefully aware of the power differences that separate, that distinguish the different groups that are involved in fisheries governance. So in sum then, transdisciplinarity is never going to be a finished product. It's always going to be something that is being constructed on the fly, so to speak. And hopefully through transdisciplinarity, we have a tool that will allow us to develop more effective approaches to governance, but we have to be aware that transdisciplinarity is not the silver bullet. It is just another tool to help us translate between the interests of different groups who are involved in fisheries governance.